Hello and welcome to the Wedding Insights. This is an exciting new live programme dedicated to weddings and helping you to get the most from your day. It's brought to you by Wedding Reel, and the Wedding Insights will feature discussion with wedding industry professionals, two of which I've got today, and couples who are at different stages in their wedding planning. My name's James and I'm going to be your host. In addition to the live shows, we also have a number of articles designed to help you get the most from your wedding day, and the link for these is going to be posted in the comments shortly. Today, we welcome two special guests, first of which is Aaron Crowe from Aaron Crowe Photography Film. Aaron is an experienced wedding photographer and someone I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years now. So welcome to the show. Aaron, I'm just going to bring you in.
Hello.
Oh, hello. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
So thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's interrupted bath time routine and everything that you've got going on at home. So thank you for ducking out of that for 15 minutes to join me. First of all, I guess for everyone that's sort of hopefully watching us on Facebook and on YouTube, where we're streaming live at the moment, can you just tell us a bit about yourself and I guess how you got into photography and what brings you to where you are and what you're doing today, really?
Yeah, sure. So I am Aaron Crowe Photography and Videography, and I'm based at Highlands Artist Studios in Chelmsford. I have been photographing weddings for over 10 years now. And yes, I love it. It's sort of, I love people, and I just enjoy capturing people at their best, really. And the wedding environment is the perfect opportunity for me to capture all of that. So because there's just so much going on, and so I got into photography from my granddad. I guess he encouraged it because he was a press and wedding photographer himself. So just going over sort of the grandparents, and he would give me sort of old cameras to play around with, and I was naturally interested in all his wedding albums and his work, and looking at all the old photographs of old couples that he's photographed over the years. So yes, it was he planted the seed, and I just took it, and it's something I've always been interested in. So yeah.
And can you remind me, what year did you sort of take it professional, if you will, and start doing your first paid weddings and your first paid events in terms of photography?
Since I left when I left school, I was doing it as a hobby, and then it just sort of it went from there, really. And then I did my first wedding when I was like 18, 19, that sort of age. And then I was still working. I was working in newsagent at the time, and then I sort of realised, that's probably not for me now. And then I was able to get a job on the cruise ship as a cruise ship photographer, and I did that for 2 years, and that was brilliant. That really kick-started everything for me, gave me the confidence I need, it was brilliant, a brilliant experience. Got to travel the world and see a lot. So that was I'm glad I did that, because I might not be doing what I'm doing today if I didn't. So it was good.
And I guess I certainly find this with the sort of the video side of things, but the different things you've done over the years, although they're very diverse, they probably actually help you on a wedding day, don't they? I certainly find that things I do outside of weddings actually really help me to deliver a better result on the day. And have you found that as well from the different things you've done over?
Yeah, I mean, wedding photography, there's so many sort of styles of photography that are incorporated into a wedding day that you kind of just sort of the detail shots of rings and things like that. So that's sort of like commercial product photography, isn't it? So it's sort of like it brings that side in, and then you've got the documentary sort of approach, but then you've also got the more formal side of the group shots and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot. That's another reason I love wedding photography, because there's just so much sort of different styles that you could incorporate if you wanted to. But yeah, no, I always go back to sort of the documentary natural approach, as yeah, it's I love realism especially in a wedding day. You want that from the wedding. You want it to be unique and in their day, rather than something you see in a wedding, in a wedding magazine. You want it to be yours, not necessarily. So yeah.
I mean, everyone's special and every day is different, isn't it? And I guess by the nature that every couple is a set of individuals, that every day is different for that reason. And yeah, I guess everything needs to be treated as such, doesn't it, really? Moving on, my next thing I wanted to ask you was, I guess it feels weird asking this on the back of 2020 and what that has been. But how's 2021 looking for you as a sort of wedding industry person and business-wise? And what kind of things have you got in store or planned or in development for the coming year?
Yeah, I mean, so 2020, all the weddings got postponed to next year. So yes, this year is it's very, very busy, but whether it still will be, I don't know. But yeah, it is. It's looking like a very busy year. So the busiest year I've ever had in my 10 years. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, there's been couples are still having to postpone and change dates and stuff, which is normal. So some couples are they're just having smaller weddings, and they've sort of accepted that. But it's very difficult at the moment. I mean, there was one wedding I was looking at the other day, and that's the fourth or fifth time they've postponed their wedding. So it's crazy. But yeah, no, it is. It's looking like a very busy year, but we'll just see what happens. Nobody knows, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's sort of during the lockdown, I've been looking at my own business and how I can improve that. So I've got a new website, a new wedding website, which I've just released that, so that's live now. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for the lockdown. So that was good.
That's some positives to come out of all of this, then, I guess, isn't it? You've been able to do all the things that you otherwise wouldn't have got around.
Yeah, that I haven't been able to. So yeah, I've produced a free wedding photography planning guide, which is that's free for my couples. So that's sort of like hints and tips. So yeah, I've been able to put that together. So yeah, that's good. And then yeah, I'm also doing with all my wedding bookings at the moment, I'm giving a free pre-wedding portrait session, which can be used any time of the year. So last year I was doing it for just my full day weddings, but it's any bookings now. So that's something I've introduced for this year.
So it sounds like a year of innovations, Aaron. Would that be fair to say? You're trying to do things and
we've had the time to sort of like really sort of look at a business and go, all right, I can do that. I'll give a bit of value back, to couples and things. And it's just, you want to improve, don't you? So, but yeah, no, it's been good for that. We've been able to look at our sort of businesses and how we can improve, and and what we can do to sort of give back to our couples if we can, especially with everything going on. So yeah.
I guess with that in mind, I mean, what advice have you got for couples? I know you mentioned one couple that have rescheduled. I think you said it was the fourth or fifth time now they've had to move their wedding day. But what advice have you got to anyone that's maybe in the process or thinks they're about to have to do that, either for the first time or again having already done so, in terms of maybe suppliers and their availability and stuff like that? Is there anything that you recommend to people that they do or don't do?
even if you're just thinking about postponing, I think you should just let the venue know, just to say we're thinking of postponing. At least it gives them a heads up. And then, yeah, sort of your key suppliers like photographer and anyone else that sort of you feel is really important to be there on the day, that you sort of wouldn't want to lose. But no, I sent emails out to all my couples and I said, if you're thinking of postponing, contact the venue and try and get 3 dates. If you're happy with sort of 3 possible dates, then try and sort of pencil them in. They'll allow you to, and then at least you can give your suppliers those 3 options. So you don't, you might lose one or 2, but not all of them if you just give them 1 date. So yeah, and that has worked. That has worked with my couples. So yeah, it's but no, I mean the wedding industry has been very good. It's been, it's very understanding, and we've all been doing doing our best to sort of help when we can, just do the best we can. So in some instances, you can't, but yeah, no, it's been, I think so anyway. The wedding industry has been brilliant to their couples, and the couples have been brilliant to us. They've been, my couples have sort of been letting me know what's going on and what they're thinking and stuff, so which is great. So yeah.
I guess the key is just keeping in contact, isn't it, with everyone, and that goes both ways. That, I had an email from a couple on Monday just giving me an update, checking I'm okay. Someone actually asked, are you still in business, which I thought was quite nice of them, because sadly people have gone out of business over the last year, haven't they, and particularly in the wedding industry. And actually to check that you're still solvent, you're still trading, is probably quite a relevant question to check in with your suppliers if you're a couple watching this. It is tough out there both ways. So
you can't forget, it's their wedding, it's their wedding day. Like, it's not like, you're not buying a sofa, you're not like,
exactly, yeah, this is a big deal, isn't it? So
and and yeah, so it's I've loved it that the couples have been as brilliant as they have been, and so with the wedding industry as well. But yeah, we've all come together and we're working together, so which is great. It's brilliant to see. So.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of solidarity, hasn't there? And like you say, it goes kind of both ways, really, which is really nice. So yeah, it's let's hope it's onwards and upwards.
Yeah,
21. Hey, let's see. We don't know what's coming, but I think from what I'm hearing, from what you've been saying, and you've adapted what you're doing to make it better for your couples, your clients, and that's nothing but positive, really. And you've had the time to do that, which is really good.
Yeah, it's stressful for everyone. It's stressful for the couple. I mean, changing the date, replanning their date four times. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, how stressful is that? So, you want to try and make it as easy as possible for everyone. So yeah, no, it's it will come together. It will come with these new vaccines. I'm hoping we might get something in March. Like, there'll be a new announcement, some changes maybe in March, maybe, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
watch this space.
Yeah.
We've got time for one quick question, and again, I'm sort of throwing it out there a little bit. I don't know what your opinion might be on this, Aaron, but I'm going to bring this up on the screen now. Do you think wedding venues will bring in the quick testing for guests before the wedding so that some normality can be resumed, even in a small way? I think that's a really poignant question.
Well, I don't know why it's not happening now. I don't understand why it's not happening now. It should be. I know that with venues that I've been speaking to, they've been like, "Oh yeah, no, that's a great idea. We can do that. We'll do that. But it's like it should be happening now. It should be. I mean, I did a wedding during the restrictions, and they had the ceremony was at Highland House, but they couldn't have their wedding breakfast. They couldn't have a meal there. But then, so they ended up driving sort of 15 minutes down the road and had the meal at the Ivy Hill, which is a smaller venue. So they were closer together there than if they got married if they had it at Highlands Park, which is they've got a massive marquee. They could have spaced everyone out. lot more so. So it's just crazy. All these things.
That doesn't make any sense at all, does it? But yeah, that's a good example, actually. I think.
It's things like that, but yeah, they should definitely do. Other places are doing the testing and that. So I think I was watching on this morning where I think it was a plumber where he wanted to sort of, if his employees are being tested, then he can send it. It's like, yeah, just if you can do it, do it. I don't. Yeah. But
there you go. So thank you for that question, and thank you for answering it as well. We're just about out of time, unfortunately. There's a million and one things that I could chat to you about, and perhaps I'll get you on another point in the future. But thank you, Aaron, for joining me. I appreciate your time and sort of taking time out to come and do this. For everyone that's watching, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, if you're interested in finding out more about what Aaron does, then the links will be in the comments, and you can visit the website and sort of have a look at what he does. Just to check, have you got any available dates left for this year, for anyone that's watching this that's getting married this year and is thinking about using your services?
Yes, there are dates available, but yeah, I'm turning down over 50% of my inquiries, I would say, just because I've already booked, especially this year. So yeah, it is. If you're looking to get married this year, then yeah, you need to contact your photographer today, because yeah, Saturdays in the summertime they've been and gone. They were been and gone last year, but yeah, we've got a whole year's worth of weddings moved to this year, so it's it's crazy. I'll give you an example. So there have been some weddings which I haven't been able to do because I'm already booked, where they've been postponed. So I have a sort of network of photographers that I will contact to then cover for me, so I don't leave my couples with no photographer at all. And yeah, I contacted 16 photographers and only 3 were available. So, and that's my local network. So they're gone. They're going. So
what? Just that alone is actually really nice insight for anyone watching this that's at an early stage of planning their wedding. Really, just to know that, because again, that's something we know as industry professionals, and we kind of take for granted, but not everyone's going to know that. So thank you for that. Actually, that's really cool. Brilliant. Well, thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate your time. I'm going to now move over and introduce our next guest. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Okay. Cheers. Bye.
Brilliant. So thank you so much to Aaron for joining me. He was obviously our first guest on our very first ever episode of The Wedding Insights. If you're joining us partway through, welcome. This is The Wedding Insights. This is going to be a new informative wedding related live program that's going to be going out on Facebook and YouTube. And it's really designed to help couples at any stage of the wedding planning process, to help you with your wedding. And again, we're going to be bringing in guests from the wedding industry, but also couples themselves to sort of give insight and advice to help you and to discuss all different things related to weddings. So with that in mind, I'm really pleased to introduce our next guest, who's going to be Elliot Porter. He's a musician and singer-songwriter. He's the founder of Pop-Up Piano, who provide live music at weddings and events, and is someone that I've known for a very long time. So welcome to the Wedding Insights. Sel, thanks for joining us. How are you doing this evening?
Hello. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the show so far. There was some really good insights.
So just for the benefit of everyone watching this, El, you're able to sort of watch in the wings, aren't you, from what's called the green room of the streaming platform, and you can see and hear what's going on, and brilliantly you're able to be ready the moment that I press the button and you come in. So I think it's been some good insight. Again, thanks to Aaron for joining us, and thank you to you for taking the time to do this. Obviously, you're no stranger to what we're doing tonight, are you? Could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background in music, and And I guess maybe a little bit about what you've been doing over the last year, which includes some of this sort of live streaming activity too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I started off in music probably around 15 years ago, I suppose, playing in bands and things, playing piano, keyboards, and started out as a kind of solo artist probably about 10 years ago, eventually getting into weddings after I stopped working for HMV. I was quite fortuitously made redundant, actually, which was probably the best thing that ever happened to my music career, because it gave me time and some redundancy money to kickstart that. So I started off, I guess, in weddings probably around about 8 years ago now, or something like that, and professionally for 6 or 7 years now, I guess. And yeah, like most musicians, for the last year or so, all of our gigs have pretty much gone online, and this kind of platform, StreamYard's been really influential in that, because we can kind of do our gigs, as you are doing very, very, very well here, and streaming to 2 or 3 platforms, 2 or 3 pages at the same time. And I've also created a podcast with me and my sister Chloe, called Isolation Gigs. So we had a platform for musicians to come and play gigs on Facebook, and then we started a podcast. And again, StreamYard was the platform we used. So I'm very familiar. It's the first time. No, it's actually the second time I've actually sat in the green room. Normally I'm in your chair when I do these.
Yeah, controlling the whole thing. And there's quite a lot looking. So if anyone's watching this and they're thinking, I've got terrible attention to what you're saying, Elle, I'm not being rude. It's just, as you all know, when you're doing this, I'm looking at my program on the right. I've got all my notes of what's going on. I'm queuing different things up. We're trying to check the comments, stuff like that. So when you're doing this, you're doing a lot of different things. And sometimes when we're doing these as gigs, as video gigs, we've got 3 or 4 people doing the job that maybe you do on your own or I'm doing on my own at the moment. And each person, someone's doing the comments, someone's checking it's all coming through okay and feeding back. And, someone's moving the camera, adjusting the lights, checking everything's working. So, there's quite a lot to it. So if you're watching this and thinking, I'm not paying any attention to my guests, I'm not, I promise you.
It's a tricky job. It's a tricky job.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that I'm expecting any kinds of awards or anything, but I just want to say, thank you for, taking the time to do this. Obviously, you've been in music for a very long time. And it's really interesting. You said the best thing that ever happened was you getting made redundant, because actually that's what happened to me as well. And I'm doing what I'm doing. So thank you to companies that make you redundant. It seems really bad at the time, but sometimes you look back and it's the best thing that's ever happened beyond your control, really. So again, trying to put positive on a negative. I guess 2020 potentially was not a great year for you, but how's 2021 shaping up, and what kind of interesting different things have you got lined up in terms of, I don't know, whether it's weddings, events, or other things musically?
Yeah, sure. So since we started Pop-Up Piano, so we started Pop-Up Piano as a kind of offering in about 2018, and 2020 we've been building up to, was going to be our busiest year. So we've been doing a lot of shows and trade shows and things like that, wedding shows, and it was going to be our busiest year. As everyone knows, obviously, the whole world shut down, and for music it made it virtually impossible to go out and play gigs, especially at weddings, which just completely went off the radar. And I was one of the lucky people. I managed to squeeze in 3 weddings, one right before lockdown in the first instance, like literally a day before, one in September when we had a slight element of freedom, and then I think December as well, when we were allowed to kind of do weddings for 15 people. So it hasn't been a disaster, but it's not been that busy. So all of the weddings that were going to happen in 2020 are now happening supposedly this year, but as Aaron said, whether they actually happen or not, who knows. So we filled up the calendar as best we can, but you can't even look a month ahead really and really know what's going on. So I have kind of taken the time to kind of look at what we can do. One thing I am doing, actually, I just launched yesterday, is a new thing for Valentine's Day. So I'm offering song requests, so people can request a song with a personalised message, and it's as a Valentine's gift instead of going out for dinner or buying your loved one something from a shop, a bit of jewelry or something. You can buy them a song, it'll be a live recorded video with a personalised message, so you can make it as cheesy as you like, and I will deliver the message and the song. So, yeah, there's little things we can do using the internet really, and the live video kind of thing, which is what you guys do, really, isn't it? So, yeah, there's little things like that. But apart from that, it's just hoping that weddings probably happen in 2021, but we just don't know.
Yeah, I suppose it's that uncertainty, isn't it? I mean, I'm always saying to people, I said to someone on the phone yesterday, not about a wedding, but he said, "Oh, what if this happens?" I said, "Well, it just doesn't happen. We'll
Yeah,
just move it to another day."
yeah,
It's as simple as
yeah,
that. You don't really plan anything too far ahead. I've got my diary, but it's very, very fluid at the moment. It changes by the day, by the hour. Um, things you've had booked in for years might disappear at the drop of a hat. But it's being
yeah,
adaptable, I guess, isn't it, and flexible. And I love this idea of the recorded song for Valentine's. You can't maybe go out for dinner depending on what's happening on 14th February, but something like that is a really, really nice idea. So yeah, hats off to you for coming up with something quite innovative. And actually, I could imagine there'd be quite a lot of demands for that, really. So moving on from that, I guess we've talked about what might happen this year. Obviously, things that have gone over the last year.
yeah,
Obviously, you launched Pop-Up Piano. That's a service predominantly for weddings, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
What kind of things have you been doing for people in regards to wedding music? I mean, were there any trends coming through before we were hit by the COVID pandemic, or what kind of things were you getting requests for, and what were you doing?
Yeah, so pop-up piano, yeah, is really kind of a live request thing, that people have either during the drinks reception or the wedding breakfast, and it involves a music menu and people like requesting songs from the music menu. But a trend that we have seen, that's become more and more apparent, is people trying to fill the gaps in their day. So, and it's something that I often talk to wedding couples about, because it's something that people, when they haven't organised a wedding before, they probably haven't even thought about it. But it's things like 15 minutes of music before the ceremony and things like that, little extras that we can offer, just to kind of set an atmosphere, make it a nicer atmosphere for people to come and sit down to, rather than silence or some recorded music that the venue's organised, and also filling in the gaps like during the drinks reception. So I would say we've kind of set ourselves out as kind of specialists in ceremony and drinks reception, because they run, as you will know very well, they run kind of like back to back, really, don't they? So you have your ceremony, and then we've kind of made it easy so we can kind of switch over our music, pending where the drinks reception is happening, quite quickly, so we can kind of roll from the ceremony into the drinks reception. And I would say we've become more of a daytime offering. So we have a full day package which includes a ceremony, drinks reception, and wedding breakfast, which effectively takes the first day. And then you can have the first dance and things like that as well. And we are very happy to go into the evening with the requests and the music menu. But I think, yeah, it's the daytime element where people are probably not. It's not so common to think of music happening all throughout the day, but we've kind of proved that you can, and it keeps people occupied when photographs are happening, and people are going about their chatting to people they haven't seen for a long time. It just keeps the day rolling, really. So I like to offer that as a service, should people want it.
I think it's really important because music, as you quite rightly say, is one of the things that kind of really sets the mood of the wedding throughout the day. and more often than not may get pigeonholed just into the first dance or the evening entertainment. But as you quite rightly say, you can do so much with it throughout the day in different creative ways, can't you really? So yeah, I'm hoping that's been helpful for people watching that maybe thinking of having different types of music or some form of musical entertainment and maybe weren't sure what to do. And I guess now with maybe smaller number weddings that we're potentially going to have over the coming period of time, having music will kind of add to the ambience for the smaller number of people that are there, and I think will probably be needed more than ever. So rather than not having it because you don't have the numbers, I'd say actually you probably need it more than ever potentially. Not I'm trying to sell your services, El, but you know.
That's fine by me. Yeah, and I think you're right. Because of the smaller weddings, people are having to think differently, really. Like, how are we going to make it an event? And because people kind of make events, don't they? And you know, as a society and as an entertainment business, our whole ethos has always been around getting as many people in the room or in the marquee as possible, hasn't it? And same for weddings. And with less people, we have to think of innovative ways of doing it, and music can help massively because it fills up spaces that people probably took up before.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. Can we jump to a question? Would that be right? Again, I always feel a bit mean doing this because I can see them, but I don't believe you can.
I actually can, yeah. Ooh. I've seen a few popping up. Yeah.
Well, there's a few good ones. So we are like a minute over intended, but actually I think there's some really good stuff going on in the chat, and it seems a shame not to pick up on a couple of these at least. So cool. I'll bring this one up first of all. Do you often get requests for particular songs you've never heard, or a request to write something specifically for someone's wedding day? And again,
I often get requests for songs that I've never heard, which actually I quite enjoy because it one thing, it improves me as a musician because it makes me go and learn new songs, and that's one of the beauties about doing wedding music is you never know what people are going to ask for. So as long as I get a bit of notice, you know, which you do when you arrange weddings like quite far in advance, I don't mind learning anything really, converted in my own style to the piano. And I've had some songs I've never played before, and sometimes they've turned out to be really cool. In terms of writing something specifically for someone's wedding, I'm a songwriter, and actually that's Stephen's question, I think. And hello, Stephen, how you doing? I work with Stephen on my music now, and but I've never actually written a song for someone's wedding day, so that could be another thing that I might be offering or interested in doing if someone wanted it. Yeah,
there you go, another new service born here on the Wedding Insights. One final question and then we'll bring it all to a close if that's all right. So what changes have you made for pop-up piano because of COVID? I'm guessing all the sort of health and safety and hygiene type things, but what kind of things? We talked about one off program recently that's to do with not transmitting the virus by getting rid of something that you normally use. But what kind of things have you done to adapt?
That's exactly it, really. Because we had to look at doing the kind of like COVID health check kind of thing, and the one thing that we realised would be a problem straight away, really, with the whole social distancing and contacting was our menus, because our menus traditionally we put on every table, so you'd have 15, 20 menus going around the wedding venue, and obviously people writing on the little slips and bringing it up to the piano, so there's loads of contact going on there, so they're contacting the pianist, and they're also touching the menus, touching the bits of paper. So that's something that we had to adapt to quite quickly. When we did one wedding, we trialled it down in Bristol. We did one of the weddings we did was in Bristol in September. And speaking with a couple, we came up with the idea of basically having a text service. So we just had one menu in one central place with some hand sanitizer. So people could go to that one central place, sanitize their hands first, obviously, and pick the song, and they didn't have to touch anything really, so they literally just had to text it on their phone, so it's all kind of kept in that one kind of one person's kind of personal space. They text it, and I get the text on my phone on the piano, and I can just play the song that way. So it was actually a lot easier than I thought, and I'm going to be trying to develop it once we do bigger weddings, because obviously I don't really want to be getting like thousands of texts from people all day. We're going to try and figure out a way where we can maybe have a page on our website that people visit, and some kind of messaging service that they do it, because I don't think the menus will unfortunately come back for a while. So in a way, I suppose it's made us move forward with technology as well. And yeah, we do all the basic things like hand sanitize near the piano. We don't go too close to the guests and stuff, and we wipe down the pianos before and after use. So yeah, we're all pretty much COVID secure.
That's good to know. I like the fact that it's kind of forced you to change the way things are done, and actually probably for the better as well, really. So
yeah, it could make it easier for us actually in a way,
and it's probably a better experience for the guests as well, I would imagine. I think a lot of positive things have come out of all of the changes, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like an evolution in how things are done, really, and yeah, it's positive to hear, really. We have gone a little bit over today, which is very naughty, so I'm going to slap myself on the wrist for that one. But I've been enjoying our discussions that we've had, and we had a couple of good questions, so we'll forgive ourselves on this occasion, and it's the first one. So, but just to give everyone an idea, this will be a half an hour long live program with two guests on a weekly basis, whilst we're sort of under the stay-at-home order, and then potentially monthly from here on in, as things will get busier and a little bit more back to normal. But El, listen, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and obviously sort of taking the time to do that. And I'm really hoping actually some of the advice you've given will be helpful to everyone watching, and anyone that's watching this back in the future that's considering music. Maybe they'll look at it in a different way, or consider different options for the day, sort of on the back of what you've told them. So thank you.
I hope so. Yeah, anything's possible with music. So yeah,
that's great. Thank you so much. I will log you off, and I'm going to bring the program to a close. So thanks again, and catch up with you soon.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Brilliant. So that was our first episode of the Wedding Insights. Two fantastic guests. Lots of discussion, lots of advice, which is exactly what this program is all about. I'd like to just thank them again for joining me, and just to say, if you can join us next week, we'll be here again 7:00 on Tuesday on Facebook and on YouTube. We have two more wedding industry expert special guests, and again, you'll get the chance to ask questions. So lots of engagement on the comments on YouTube and Facebook, and ask anything you want to of our sort of panel of guests. So please feel free to join us, subscribe and like the Facebook page and YouTube channel, and you'll be kept up to date and notified when we're about to go live and when we schedule a program. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Wedding Insights.